Hey everybody, Tucson Eggers here. Welcome back to the shop. Today I got something really special. I can't believe I got this at an auction. If you haven't seen those auction videos, give that a shot. You know, getting out there, it's a good time. Go out and have some hot dogs, buy a bunch of random crap, you know, and you can turn around and sell it a lot of times. But this, to me, is just incredible. Some of these sockets here are 100 years old. I mean, original snap-on, 100-year-old sockets. Let's get into it. All right, so first just a little background on Snap-on. They started in 1920, and for the first couple of years, a lot of their stuff didn't have any markings. They started off with this kit that came with two T-handles like this. This is the short one, then a long one, then two speed handles, and then like 10 sockets. And you know, I'll put a photo right here of what it looked like. They called it 5 to do the work of 50 or something like that, and it was just their basic tool kit. So from like 1922, 1923, they started doing this Overstrike. They call it the SO Overstrike. Let me show you one here. Come on, focus. There we go. See that S over O hand stamped. And there's a good link. I'll put the link in the description for this website that I got all this information from. And they do a really good job breaking it down. But basically what they say is each one of these Overstrike stamps is just a little bit different. If this thing will focus, there we go. See, these overstrikes are in a little bit different position. So more than likely, somebody was hand stamping these to put the SO Overstrike on it to label it. And that along with the size were the only markings on those 1923 and earlier ones. 1924, 1925, 1926, they didn't really put any date markings on it. Like this guy here, it's got the Snap-on logo stamped in it, but then there's no other, I mean, there's some previous owner markings on here, but there's no other information about date code. Then you get into the 1927 and later, and you have a number. So like this one's got a 9 stamped in it. Come on. This one's got a little 9 stamped in it, right? Yep, there we go. So that would be from 1929. This is an 8-point socket. And for those that don't know, they started off making, you know, nuts and bolts with square heads. And then they decided if you put 2 squares and make an 8-point out of it, now the socket can grab the same 4-point at different spots. Kind of the same way our current 6-point sockets, hex heads, you can put a 12-point on there just by doubling up the broach and making 2 6-points and turning it into a 12-point. They started doing that. They called it a double hex, which we just call 12-point now. And then later on, after 1931, I believe, so 1927, 28, 29, 30 was 7, 8, 9, and a 0. And then in 31, they went to an asterisk as the date code for 1931. Then after that, they started adding in this really weird date code system, and I'll put a little photo up here, but there's all these weird little symbols and, you know, weird shapes, and that was their date code system for a while. And then I think it was the 1940s, they turned into numbers again, but each decade they used a different shape of number, a different font, I guess you could say. So right between my fingers there, you can kind of see a funky little symbol, and that's their date code. And I'll put up a photo of that chart right quick here too. And they did that on pretty much all of their sockets, right? Where is it? Right there. So that's a different socket, and I think this lot of sockets right here is they all got that same little funky date code on it. So I think this is mostly, come on. This whole little group here, right here in the center, I think is all from the same kit or set, if you will. Some of the other parts, like this here is no, not that one, sorry. This swivel. All right, so this guy here, this swivel, 1/2-inch drive, and I think it's from the late 20s, but I can't find a date code on it, so it's probably that 1924, 25, 26 date range. In the short I posted a little bit ago, this T handle here, It's a snap-on T-handle. It's really old, and I did find a little 8 on. I'm not going to bother trying to show you that, but I did find an 8 on it, which would indicate 1928. So really, really cool stuff here. To know that I'm holding a socket that was made 100 years ago just kind of blows my mind. And then some of the other really weird stuff that they did is they made 5/8 inch drives, and then they made 19/32 inch drives and 7/8 inch drives. All right, so nowadays we have, you know, quarter, 3/8, half, 3/4, and 1 inch drive. That's our standard drive system. And that's worldwide pretty much. But back when they were first starting off, they had these 5/8 and 19/32, and you know, like this was a 1/2 inch adapter to, I think this is a 5/8. It's just under 9/16, so it might be the 19/32. They had a whole bunch of weird drive systems going on, and you can see, like, so that's the 1/2 inch drive, and it fits in some. It definitely doesn't fit in other ones. It's really goofy. And then there's like one of these where it's definitely bigger than a 3/8, but it won't fit on this 1/2 inch. And I don't know if it's just, you know, squished maybe, or I'm not sure. Or if that's a 19/32. 19/32 would be bigger than 1/2 inch, so it's not that one. I don't know. But then this 1/2 inch fits just fine. Well, it's supposed to. There we go. And another weird thing that I learned is that, you know, almost all of our modern tools have these little detent balls that, you know, lock the socket on, except rather than having a shoulder that keeps the socket from going further on, like that there, like the shoulder here, they had these detent balls. Come on, I gotta get out of the focus, or out of the picture. They had these detent balls on the side here that's but they're not spring loaded. You know, our regular detent ball is spring loaded, but these side ones are not, and that's how they actually kept the socket from going further onto the drive. Now I do have a question for everybody out there watching. I got this breaker bar here. I cleaned it up. All these ones I chemically cleaned. But this guy, I just wanted to see what it was, so I started wire wheeling it, and I got the whole thing wire wheeled. I'll do a quick slow by here. And I can't find a name on it, or a marking, or a symbol of any sort, and I'm wondering if anybody out there knows what it is. So it's got a T-handle hole in it, and a 1/2 inch drive end on it, so you can basically turn this probably 18-inch breaker bar into an extension, which I've never seen one of these before, but man, it is slick. So if anybody out there knows, you know, what brand this is, I'd appreciate it. I've tried looking it up, and so far no luck, but that doesn't mean I won't figure it out sooner or later. Just really, really cool. And then this guy is one of their original extra heavy duty, heavy duty, because then they had these, I think it was the 7/8 drive that they called the XHDs, extra heavy duties, and I'm pretty sure this is only 7/8 drive. Nope, that's a 5/8 inch drive. Sliding T-handle, again, from probably the late 20s. It's got the actual Snap-on logo, come on, actual Snap-on logo, but I can't find a date code on it, and I don't want to really wire wheel it any more than I have to, but on the back side here, I can't really see anything. I'm hoping that maybe in the camera I can do a close-up and get a better look at it, but no number stamped in it, which if that's the case, that would again indicate 1924, 25, 26-ish. It's really tough to say. Well, I hope y'all got something out of this. I really enjoy doing these videos. I love going to these auctions and finding stuff like this. I highly encourage y'all to give it a shot. It's usually on Saturdays, you know, so it's not like you have to take off work from it. And you find really neat stuff like this. I've literally, almost all the tools I have on the walls that, you know, you see throughout my videos come from these auctions, and you get them for dirt cheap. And if for nothing else, you can use them as decoration. I may or may not try to turn around and sell these, but you know, probably 50, 60, 70 bucks a pop for these old sockets, and maybe more, maybe less, but I'm not really for stuff like this, just the nostalgia of it, I kind of like to keep those things. But a lot of times you can find a lot of good tools and turn around, or either upgrade your tools or turn around and sell the, you know, whatever it is. Anyway, I appreciate y'all watching, and please hit that like and subscribe, and we'll catch you on the next video.